Hello everybody, welcome to Arts and Crafts with Steve McDonald. Today I'm going to be doing a resin piece, and this has been inspired by Archangel Art Studio. They're based in America, so please go and check out their channel. They're really good. I've learned so much from them. So I've got a piece of MDF board here. It's only about 3 or 4 millimeters thick and it's about A3 size, and I'm going to cover it with this scrunched up foil using picture mount. I find this really useful to use. It sticks quite well and it has no problems with the alcohol. So I've put the foil back on after I've scrunched it up, and what I will be doing is I will be smoothing this right out, but you'll still see all the creases that are in it, and it still allows the alcohol to flow over it nicely and be able to blend. It's great fun. So I'm just using a bit of cloth here to make sure it's nice and flat and keeping all those in. But be careful, don't rub too hard because you will rub the foil off. Remember, this is only thin aluminium or aluminum kitchen foil. So I've got a Baja Blue now on a sponge brush that is mixed probably about 50-50 with 99% alcohol, and I'm going over the whole of the foil now, because actually I don't want the silver to show through. So once I've covered that, it doesn't go as far as I thought it was doing, but it was quite warm in my studio this day, so it's probably drying out a little bit quicker than I thought it would be. So I'm going to go over this and ensure that it's an even coat of the diluted colour. And then with these sponge brushes, it spreads out quite nicely as well. So there we go. So what I'll be doing now is I'm putting some neat Baja Blue on, because actually I want it to almost look a bit like the sky at this point. I will apologise now, I'm recording this in my living room. My dog Daisy, the Labrador, she's looking out the window because there is a cat nearby, so she may bark. So I'm dabbing this on now to give some contrast in the colours. My little Lily, the deaf Labradoodle that I've got, who's a year old, she's just come back from having a trim, and she looks so cute. I may put a picture up of her here for you to see. So there we go. I've gone over it well with the neat Baja, and now I'm going over it with some 99% alcohol to allow that to blend in, and also where some of the creases are and they're a little bit raised, it gives that slightly darker edge where the ink settles. Okay, so that's that finished, and now I'm just going to let that dry. There we go. So now it's dried, and as you can see, there are some darker patches, and where the alcohol has been, it's lightened them up, but it's not taking it right back to the foil. So what I'm going to do now is I'm using art resin. I will put the link in the description, and I've mixed a bit of, I think there was 3 drops of Baja Blue in this, just to give it a bit of colour. And I'm going to spread the epoxy resin around using this lollipop stick. I'm sure there's an easier way of doing it than this, and so that's why I've gone in with my hands. Much quicker. And I sealed the alcohol before I put the resin on to ensure that the resin didn't move the alcohol around. And I have got a video on how, if you live in the UK, how you can seal and UV protect your work. That came out about a week ago, so take a look at that. I'll put the link up here in the description that you can tap on. And because it's quite warm, the resin as well, it's quite fluid, it will level out and settle. Okay, I'm just getting the final bits out. And ensuring that there's no areas where there should be resin, and maybe I've rubbed it a bit thin with my hands. Okay, so now I'm using white, and I've coloured this resin, it's the same resin, with acrylic paint. But what I realised was I didn't put enough white acrylic paint in that. So I've now added some more. I'm stirring it in here now, and that's much better because I don't want it to be a real contrast to what I've got, because I want this to look quite an ethereal picture, so more cloudy and how it was. So I'm allowing that to settle in. Now this is a technique that I did learn from Archangel Art Studios, using a heat gun, because normally I would use a hairdryer, and the heat gun really works well. It spreads out what you want to do, it warms up the resin, and it blends it in lovely. And also, added bonus, it kills the bubbles, so there's no bubbles either, which can be a bit of annoying when you're doing some work, because I want this to look like a cloudy sky, really. Now that kind of like spidery thing that you can see in the middle of my picture, I will point it out and here. That's actually from an umbrella light shade that I'm using to disperse the light. But what I've realised is maybe the bulb's a bit bright in there. So that isn't actually on the picture when the picture's finished. And you can see it moves slightly there, and that's because I bumped my head on it. I am very clumsy. And I'm filming all this on my iPhone as well, because I find that that's really useful to make the film, and I can edit really easily using my iPhone. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let this Lily's scrapping. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to let this solidify a little bit. I found some more white in the pot. I don't like wasting anything. So I'm going to let this dry off and start to harden after I've finished moving it around to where I want it. But I don't want it completely hard. I just want it to be quite solidified. Because as you can see, in one of my previous videos, I made these ballet dancers using alcohol inks, and I did some test pieces, and these are the two test pieces, and I want to add these to this picture, so I just cut them out. They're on yupo paper, and now I'm sticking them to it, but it gives them more of a 3D effect if it's not flat on the base, and it gives I just think it gives a better effect. So now I'm going over with resin, again the same art resin that I used earlier to coat these and ensure that they are flat as well. And the reason I'm doing this afterwards is because actually this has got no colour in it, and what it will do is it will slightly push away the resin underneath these pictures and around the arms, and give it more of allow it to have a much more movement feel to the ballet dancers. I've dropped a bit of yupo paper on my picture there from where I cut it out. It was probably stuck to my belly. Not that I'm doing this without a shirt on, but it was probably stuck to my shirt. So there we go. So I've removed that, and I'm going to just check that they're okay. I will go over them in a minute with a torch because some bubbles will come up from them. So there we go, just going over it with a torch, clearing all the bubbles away to ensure that I've got a nice clear image. And I'm just checking here because there was a couple of little bits where the resin was a little bit indented. So I'm just tapping that and ensuring that that resin is covered. And a few more bubbles have risen to the surface. So I'm just going to kill those bubbles as well. They've gone. And there we go. I'm covered this up with a box and allow this to dry. But unfortunately, when I took the box off, one of the flaps of the box had stuck to the resin, pulled a bit of the foil off. So what I did was I cut out, I designed a moon, cut that out, stuck it to the picture along with another dancer and put a little bit of resin over those two. So I hope you like this. Thank you for watching. Please take a look at Archangel Art Studios. They've got some great stuff there. Subscribe, like and share. Bye.